Alex is in her 60s. She's had insomnia since the age of 6. She's had pain in her jaw, her neck, and her scalp for most of her life. She's tried every test, every treatment, every remedy you can think of, over more than 5 decades. Her husband's a doctor. Even that didn't help. When she finally walked into my office, I was nervous. I didn't want to be the next name on a long list of people who had let her down. Now, before I tell you what we found, I've created a free resource called the Awaken Your Inner Healing Power Toolkit. This is for people who are watching this kind of video. The link is in the description here. Go ahead and take it. Alex applied for a job in my office about a year ago. We sat down to talk. Within the first few minutes, she told me her history. Insomnia since she was 6. Severe pain in her jaw and in her teeth, her whole life related to grinding her teeth at night, what we call bruxism, and to TMJ disorder. Chronic pain in her neck and scalp going back to childhood. And underneath all of that, a story I'm going to share with what she shared with me, because she gave me permission, and also because it matters for what I want to say. Now, when Alex was 6 years old, she went through what she describes as physical torture in a dentist chair. The dental work she had at that age was extreme and inappropriate for a child. She also believed she was sexually molested by one of the dentists during that period. At the same time at home, her mother was tying her hair into very tight, painful buns and applying toxic chemicals to her scalp. By the time Alex was a teenager and into her early 20s, she went through a series of controlling relationships with older men. Now, by the time she came to me, she spent more than 50 years inside a body that had been hurt at the foundation. And her body remembered. She had tried, by her count, almost every treatment available: Western medicine, alternative medicine, dental work and alternative dental work, physical therapy, therapy of every kind. The fact that her husband is a doctor meant she had access to specialists most people never see. None of it had given her sustained relief. The pain stayed. The insomnia kept tormenting her. Now, here's what I want you to hear, because this is the heart of this video. By the time Alex came to see me, the pain was no longer separate from who she was. It had been with her since she was 6. It had been with her more than any other fact of her life. It had outlasted her childhood. It had outlasted her relationships. It had outlasted every practitioner who tried to help. This pain was no longer something that had happened to her. It had become part of her identity. And nobody had ever named that out loud to her, including her. I want to be careful here, because I'm not saying this to her or to you in a way that blames the patient. I want you to hear what I mean. When a person has been in pain for 54 years, the body is not the only thing that is organized around it. The mind and the identity has also organized around it. The relationships have, the career has, the way of thinking, the way of sleeping, the way of thinking herself. Pain has become the floor that she's standing on. And no matter how skilled the next technique is, if you don't touch the floor, the technique does not last. Now, that's what 35 years of clinical work has taught me about chronic pain. The pain that does not respond to treatment is almost always doing something. It's holding something in place. It's carrying something the conscious mind has not yet been able to look at directly. Sometimes it's grief. Sometimes it's rage that was not safe to feel at the time. Sometimes it could be a memory the body never had permission to file away. Sometimes it's an identity based on a wound so old the person has no memory of being themselves without it. Until you reach that, until the floor itself shifts, the symptom keeps coming back. Different shape, same root. Now, I worked with Alex over a series of sessions. We did the clinical work. I adjusted her body energetically. I used the microcurrent device I've used with thousands of patients. We balanced things in her that had been out of balance for decades. But the part of the work that actually moved her was not the technique. It was the conversation. It was the fact that, for the first time in her life, somebody had named what she had been carrying. It was the fact that she got to look at the story of her own body without anybody talking past it or treating as if it was just a list of symptoms. So after a few sessions, Alex's husband told her that she was nicer. She was more ebullient. She was a lot happier. She was still working with the pain, she said. In her own words, the pain loop was not as dire and drastic as it had been. I want to be precise about what shifted. The pain did not vanish in one session. The insomnia did not vanish in one session. What shifted was that the pain stopped being the whole story of who she was. The identity that had been built itself around 54 years of suffering started slowly to make room for something else. And once that started, the techniques worked differently. Same techniques, but different floor. Now, I've told this story carefully because I think a lot of you are watching this with the same kind of history. Now, maybe not as extreme, maybe more so. But whatever it is, I want you to consider that the symptom that you've been chasing for years might not be a malfunction. It might be doing something. It might be carrying something for you. And the reason no treatment fully takes is not that you're broken or that nothing works. It's that the floor has not yet shifted. 35 years of doing this work has taught me one thing more than anything else. The body remembers what the conscious mind has filed away. An identity forms around long-held pain in ways that make the symptoms permanent unless the identity itself is given somewhere to go. So if Alex's story landed with you, and if you recognize any parts of yourself in her, tell me that in the comments. You could be as specific or as general as you want. Now you can receive the Awaken Your Inner Healing Power Toolkit for free. The link is in the description here. And if any of this is landing, I wrote a book called Awakening the Avatar Within that goes much deeper than a video can. That link is also in the description. Now next week, I'm going to give you the 3 patterns I look for in every patient who walks in. There are the 3 things I see in chronic pain that nobody else checks. They might change how you look at your own body. I'll see you there.